Hello YouTube. Today we're going to discuss the theology of Catholic marriage. Yesterday, Father James Martin made these comments on Twitter. These comments were made in reference to an upcoming Supreme Court case regarding whether a web designer can refuse to make a wedding page for a gay couple. In these comments, he argues that this woman is being homophobic because she's refusing to make a web page for a gay couple, but not, for example, a non-Christian couple. I responded to Father Martin's comments here, and though he didn't name me in it, based on the language, I believe his follow-up to his own comments were made in response to what I said. The thing is, doubling down on what he said only makes it clear. Father Martin either doesn't understand basic knowledge about Catholic marriage, or is presenting it duplicitously. So this video is for Father Martin, that hopefully he can understand what marriage is. To understand marriage, we have to understand that God created man out of love, and that marriage exists as a way in which man can participate in that same creative love. Thus, we can understand the two natural ends of marriage as the mutual good of the spouses and the procreation of children. Thus, marriage is a gift God gives us by which a man and a woman can become one flesh, and thus their individual goods are directed towards the good of the couple, and that out of this relationship, new life may be fostered. In this way, mankind can imitate and become like God, in that God exists as a union of three persons of the Trinity, and out of that union, creation was possible. The two ends of marriage are so united that to separate them is itself sinful. It's for this reason that Catholics understand contraception to be a sin, because it removes procreation from the marital bond, and also why in vitro fertilization is a sin, because it removes the marital bond from procreation. This is also why homosexual acts are sinful, and why gay marriage is impossible, because it is intrinsically impossible for two men to procreate. They cannot get married, and using their sexual powers with each other is in fact a misuse of their sexual powers. Now, for Catholics, marriage was elevated by Christ to a sacrament of the Church. Marriage is a state of life and an ecclesial order. It creates certain rights and duties between the spouses and any children born of that marriage. It also imparts sacramental graces. Only Christians, that is, those who have been baptized, can receive sacramental marriage. But this obviously does not mean that non-Christians cannot get married. They obviously can and do. They have what's called natural marriage, as compared to sacramental marriage. That distinction does not mean that sacramental marriages are unnatural, rather it means they are supernatural. There are differences between a natural marriage and a sacramental marriage. For example, a natural marriage can be dissolved under certain circumstances, whereas a consummated sacramental marriage can never be dissolved, not even by the Pope. But they are both marriages. For the sake of completeness, a mixed marriage, that is a marriage between a baptized non-Catholic and a Catholic, is a sacramental marriage, and a marriage with a disparity of cult, that is a marriage between a non-baptized person and a Catholic, is not sacramental. You can take a screenshot of this chart if you're interested in things like this. Which brings us back to Father Martin's comments. His insistence that it is homophobic to refuse to participate in a gay wedding, but participate in a non-Catholic wedding, is, as hopefully this explanation has made clear, wrong and scandalous. A marriage between non-Catholics is, unless other circumstances exist, a valid marriage. A relationship between two people of the same sex can never be a marriage. The two situations are not comparable. A Catholic can participate in a non-Catholic wedding, assuming no other factors apply. A Catholic could not do so for a gay wedding. For a priest to publicly accuse a layperson of being homophobic for political reasons, when that layperson is in fact demonstrating a better theology of marriage than the priest himself is expressing, is frankly despicable, and raises questions about whether that priest is in fact a wolf in shepherd's clothing. I ask Father Martin to remove his comments on Twitter and to issue a correction to them. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Benedict XVII. Go with God.